Each one of the finalists deserves recognition. So all the finalists who are in the audience tonight will be invited on stage to say a few words as we celebrate their achievements. And if you want to find out more about any of them and see their work in full, you can find links to all of them on the Rory Peck Trust website.
Now, on to our first award tonight, which is the News Award sponsored by Google News Initiative. Now, this award recognizes the work of freelance journalists on a single news piece or agency feed up to 10 minutes long, where the focus is on the immediacy of the story. Now, this year, the judges found it especially hard to decide on the final three and would like to make a special commendation to Youssef Hamash from Palestine for his entry inside the Gaza siege for Channel 4 News. Yes, the judges wanted to applaud Youssef's film for its insightful human story that powerfully conveys the emotions, panic, and fear in Gaza. An extremely powerful film. Youssef, thank you.
Well, let's have a look at our finalists for this award. First is freelance journalist Sarah Cretter from France for her report, Journey to Darfur. The city of El Janina was besieged by the Rapid Support Forces last year, and they hadn't given journalists any access to the area which they control until now. Sarah was given rare permission to travel there to see what has become of the city. So let's hear what the judges thought about it and see a clip of the film.
I think the Journey to Darfur was an incredible piece of journalism, but also it was technically brilliant. You know, the shooting was of a really excellent standard, very high production values.
The main body of the piece was the embed, but she bookended it with real beautiful cinematic shots of people leaving Darfur. Women, children, disappearing into the dust before she then took us into the danger zone. It was amazing.
I think the problem with having big news stories like Gaza and the war in Ukraine, it tends to overwhelm other stories that are happening. And I think the world does need to refocus its attention on what's going on in Darfur. I think the problem with us as an audience and also as people who consume news, that we've forgotten that millions of people's lives have been destroyed by this ongoing conflict. She was extremely brave in asking a very pertinent question of the military commander that she was interviewing, if indeed genocide had been carried out.
We were given real insight into what's happening in that part of the world, an untold story, which I hope will lead to some people thinking about what needs to be done to help the people who appeared in the film. We saw really haunting images, people being affected by how they're being governed and what is happening in that part of the world.
It really is such a powerful piece of journalism. Our next news finalist is a team of journalists from Palestine, Bilal Al-Sabah and Youssef Hassouna, for their work filming in Gaza for AFP. Now, their incredible images give us an insight that is very personal and moving. Let's see a clip and hear the judges' comments.
Bilal and Youssef's work was remarkable for its range of emotion. We understood the dreadful scale of destruction in their drone shots and in the relentless attack.
We saw really unforgettable scenes. Some of the pieces that jump out to me, actually the sounds of the piece, also the colours of cement and just all of the scenery being completely devastated.
Within their filming, they really capture a sense of the chaos and the devastation and the human tragedy, but also there is composure and complexity to the shots that they are gathering. They have suffered so much, so many challenges to gather what they have. And in doing so, they have allowed the world to see what is going on in Gaza.
I think the quality of images that they produced were truly breathtaking and extraordinary, to the point that some of them could almost be like pieces of art. I'm thinking particularly of the image of people standing around a crater of clearly what was once an apartment building, and the despair and the shock.
I think as a compilation, this really did show the breadth of the situation in Gaza from a really different perspective. All of the shots were of, an excellent quality, and I think any news desk receiving that material back would have been able to put together a very powerful story on any given day.
Really incredible images there. Well, finally, the third finalist is from Haiti, Lucanson Jean, also selected for his camera work for AFP. Let's have a look at what the judges thought and see some of his really harrowing footage from Haiti.
He really conveyed the numbing impact of the violence in Haiti on people's lives. He had some remarkable shots of 3 women sitting in a laundry. They'd had their washing hanging up, and they were just sitting. And you could see this kind of frozen paralysis. There's a kind of lassitude. There's a removal from normal life.
It's a story that is untold in many parts of the world because of other issues dominating. But the bravery these crews have shown, the thought that has gone into the filmmaking, the depth of the shots, and again, under very difficult, dangerous circumstances, for the crews to sit there and think about how that picture can tell a million stories.
For me, it's a story I was not aware of compared to some of the other entrants, but it really stood out for me in terms of you saw compelling images, shocking images, and I really got a sense of something that I needed to know more about.
There was also the shot of a mother taking, I think, a little girl to school with her hair tied up with, I don't know what it was, ribbons or something. And it conveyed how people were attempting to live normal lives in extremely abnormal circumstances.
This entry really digs into a story that I think is probably underrepresented within the media. We don't have the blinkers on when it comes to other foreign issues, and I think Haiti is a real example of that.
Such truly powerful, impactful work from a very unreported area of the world. Thank you, Lucanson. Now, to tell us who has won the News Award, sponsored by Google News Initiative, please welcome to the stage Matt Cook from Google.
Thank you so much. Really incredible and unforgettable entrance. Congratulations to all the finalists. Let me be one of the first to say thank you to the Rory Peck Trust for all the work you and your team does throughout the year, not just tonight. On behalf of the Google News Initiative, we're proud to be some part of supporting that work throughout the year and tonight. Let's get to the all-important entrance and the winner. So the winner of the 2024 Rory Peck News Award is Bella Al-Sabah and Youssef Hassouna for their film Israel-Hamas War in Gaza.
Applause, quite rightly, for Bilal Al-Sabah, together with Rana Moussawi, Middle East Deputy News Editor for AFP.
السيدات والسادة، مساء الخير جميعاً. كم أنا سعيد وأنا بينكم هنا في لندن، هذه المدينة الجميلة.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be with you here in London, this beautiful city.
وكل تقدير وشكر لاختياري لجائزة رورو بيك العريقة.
And many thanks for giving me this prestigious award.
لم أزر لندن بل أوروبا بأسرها. إلا حديثا خلال هذه الأيام. فخلال أعوامي 33 عشت معظم حياتي كسائر سكان غزة، محتجزا في تلك المساحة الصغيرة من الأرض التي تعتبر وطني.
I've never visited London. Actually, I've never been in Europe until recently, because like most of Gaza people, I've been, for the last 33 years of my life, been stuck in this tiny piece of land who I call my country.
قبل أن أتوجه لكم كصحفي، اسمحوا لي أن أخاطبكم كإنسان. فصحفيو غزة مثل كل سكان غزة كانوا يسعون لحياة مستقرة في بيوتهم ويتطلعون إلى مستقبل مشرق وآمن.
Before addressing you as a journalist, I would like to address you as a human being. Like all the people in Gaza, the journalists in Gaza were also looking forward to a stable life, to a happy future.
ولكن للأسف بين ليلة وضحاها فقدنا كل شيء. فقدنا بيتنا بلا مأوى، فقدنا أقرباؤنا، أصدقاؤنا، فقدنا كل شيء.
Unfortunately, we lost everything overnight. We lost our houses, we lost our beloved ones, we lost our friends. We don't have anything anymore.
ورغم سعادتي الليلة كوني بينكم هنا، إلا أني ما زلت مثقلا بالألم. فأصدقائي وعائلتي ما زالوا في غزة يعانون الجوع والخوف ويهربون من القنابل في كل لحظة.
Despite my overwhelming happiness tonight, I'm still full of sadness because my family, my friends who are still in Gaza, they're still suffering from hunger and from fear, and they're still fleeing from bombs.
لا يمكن وصف الصعوبات التي عشناها وغطيناها في غزة، فلم يكن هناك الماء ولا الدواء ولا الطعام. عشنا لحظات لا يمكن أن تنسى.
I cannot describe the difficulties that we've been through during the coverage of this war. We've covered this war while we were suffering from a lack of food, from lack of water, lack of medicine.
فنحن الصحفيون كان لنا نصيب سيء في هذه الحرب. لقد فقدنا أكثر من 100 صحفي وما يزيد في هذه الحرب. لكن على الرغم من هذا لم يتوقف الصحفيون الفلسطينيون على نقل الحقيقة للعالم.
The journalists in this war have endured so much. More than 130 journalists have been killed during this conflict. It is a real tragedy. And despite all that, the Palestinian journalists continued to cover all the events.
فخور بهذا اليوم وهذه الجائزة التي أتت لتقدر عمل شاق وخطير، ولكن فخر الأكبر هو أنني وزملائي وخاصة زميلي يوسف حسونة استطعنا أن نوصل صوت الضحايا والضعفاء من غزة للعالم أجمع. فكما تعلمون لا يوجد هناك أي صحفي أجنبي كان في غزة.
I'm very proud that I've been given this award that recompensates a very hard and dangerous work. My biggest pride is that I've been able, with my colleagues, and especially my colleague Hasuna, to convey the sound and sights of all the victims of this war who are still suffering from this conflict.
أتمنى أن تكون هذه الجائزة بمثابة رسالة دعم للصحفيين الشجعان في غزة الذين لا زالوا يجازفون بحياتهم من أجل إيصال الحقيقة للعالم.
I hope that this award becomes like a message of support of all the brave journalists who are still risking their lives to convey the truth.
أخيراً أتمنى أن يكون التكريم القادم لعمل يوثق إعادة الحياة والإعمار لغزة وإرساء السلام ليس في غزة بل في كل العالم.
I hope that the next award will recompensate a reportage about the reconstruction of Gaza and bringing Gaza back to life.
وأخيرا لا يمكنني أن أنسى الفضل الكبير للوكالة الفرنسية بشكل خاص وقسم الفيديو بشكل خاص على دعمهم للصحفيين وخاصة صحفيين غزة.
And finally, my biggest thanks goes to AFP and especially to the video department for their support of the journalists and especially the journalists in Gaza.
Thank you. شكرا.
A huge congratulations, amazing work there. And as we all know, every one of the finalists deserves recognition. So as part of a long-standing tradition here at the Rory Peck Awards, it's unique to this awards, we now invite the other shortlisted finalists to say a few words. So please now welcome to the stage Sarah Kretter.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Thank you to be here with me tonight. I will share a few words, and I'm incredibly honored to be here. And this moment is really meaningful for me, but also not just for me, but also for the countless people I've met. I had the privilege to have met on the ground. You know, those people that every day they give me the courage and the resilience to keep doing this work. But also, I have to be honest, is really difficult to be here with you tonight, knowing that so many of my colleagues are risking their life every day to continue to do what we are doing. And my thoughts are with the journalists and the survivors and the communities that are still enduring so much injustice and violence, many of whom I've recently encountered in Sudan and beyond. Every day, unfortunately, we are reminded that journalists are risking everything to tell the truth, and ultimately we are defending our right to the truth in a war that increasingly seeing us as a threat. Reporting on violence, and especially in places marked by genocide and unspeakable atrocity, is one of the hardest challenges I face and I've endured. It's not just the physical danger, you know, where being witness often puts a target on your back, but it's also the emotional weight and that linger with me, you know, after the camera stop rolling. The truth we uncover in these places come with a heavy burden, and yeah, I feel it's not a choice, it's an obligation to keep telling these stories. I really want to thank the Rory Peck for their support, and also the team at Channel 4 that was with me when I was working on this story. They are here with me tonight, Fede, Millie, Josh, and Danny. You were incredibly helpful, but also those who helped me on the ground to make this work possible, often at their great personal risk. Tonight, it's a really powerful reminder for us that why we continue to do this work, despite the risk, despite the cost, and it's our responsibility to keep going, to keep holding power to account. We risk everything because the truth is worth it. Thank you.
Well, sadly, our other finalist, Lacan Saint-Jean, could not make it here in person tonight, but he has sent us this message from Port-au-Prince.
Je suis Miguel Gonja, journaliste indépendant et collaborateur à AFP Haïti. Je suis doublement fier et honoré d'être finaliste du prix Rory Peck 2024. Ça me touche profondément lorsque j'ai eu la nouvelle que mon reportage a su retenir l'attention du jury parce que ça honore premièrement mon travail et en plus parce que ça parle d'Haïti, ça parle de ce pays que j'ai chéri tellement et qui m'a tout donné. C'est paradoxal de voir que cette même situation qui m'a permis en fait d'être finaliste pour le prix Rory Peck 2024 perdure encore et que je ne peux pas être présent en partie à cause de ça parce que je suis comme barricadé à Port-au-Prince comme Haïti est coupé du reste du monde parce que déjà les vols vers l'international sont coupés depuis l'aéroport Toussaint, l'ouverture le plus grand aéroport du pays. Ce reportage que j'ai filmé il y a quelques mois déjà reste dans ma tête comme si c'était hier. C'était un moment très simple dans notre vie de peuple. Et je souhaite que les générations futures n'auront pas à connaître de tels événements.
Many congratulations to all the News Award finalists and a big thank you to Matt Cook and Google News Initiative for their long-standing support. Now, on to our second award this evening, the Sony Impact Award. Now, this recognizes